Aging Advisory Committee meeting to order. I'll ask for a roll call.
Good morning, everybody. Mary Anderson. Here. Joe Baraka.
Here.
June Ellefson. Diane Gearman. Here. Paula Hodek.
Here.
David Schmidt.
Here.
That is the roll call.
Okay, and we have a quorum. All right. Items for discussion and possible action. Number one, public comment and communications. Anybody have any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, no public comment. We'll move on to number two, minutes from the September 9th, 2024 meeting.
I move to approve.
Any question? If none, all in favor say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Nay. Okay, number three, nutrition program financial report. Who is giving that today?
Hello, good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carrie Krupp. I am the Health and Human Services Fiscal Admin Supervisor. So I'm the other Carrie in finance. I'm in the normal building. So if you're like, oh, what Carrie? If you say normal Carrie, they're going to disagree that I'm normal, but that's where I'm at. So Chris had asked me to kind of put together just a little breakdown of the nutrition program. We had done this last year too, and I think it just kind of helps break everything down a little bit more. So one of the documents that you'll have is a definition page that kind of is going to refer to some of the main titles in the documents, or if you're like, oh, what is this, or what might these costs include when you're looking at these numbers, this is going to be your go-to guide where it'll break that down for you. The first page that we can look at is the flow and average cost per meal. This right here shows the average cost of the meals is $15.95. The congregate is $15.55, and the home delivered is $16.36. This data came through from January through October. So these numbers, there is a room for wiggle. They'll probably fluctuate as they do throughout the year, but this is basically where we're at, and that's pretty consistent too. The cost of the meals went up that we purchased from the Phillips Cafe to $5. We also have to pay for the meals to be delivered to the nutrition sites. So that's where you see that $1.82. Then there is just the operating costs to manage the nutrition sites, the time that Chris puts into it, the workers that are there, rent, everything that you could pretty much kind of think of. And also then we broke out for the indirect expenses too. And then if you jump down, you can follow the arrows to kind of see. To deliver the meal, we pay our volunteers their mileage and everything to get the meals from the nutrition sites to the homes. So that's where that cost comes in.
So the delivery cost then is 81 cents per mile.
No, that's the average that it costs us per meal. Mm-hmm. Yep, no, that was a great question. So then there's two other documents that you have that have graphs with a bunch of numbers broken down by month. The first one, if you read up in the little brown square, there's meal monthly expense breakouts, and the other one is our revenues. So this, the first one that I'm looking at is the expense breakout, and this is kind of where I got these numbers that flowed on that sheet that we just looked at, the flow. It'll give you the number of meals that we served. This excludes the Inclusa meals because those ones are just a little bit separate. Those ones we can't report to the GWAR, our state funding source, because it would be like double dipping because we get reimbursed from Inclusa for these. So those meals are taken out of here. Then the cost per meal per month, the delivery costs to the meal sites per month. Then you have our operating and indirect expenses per month, and the cost to deliver to the home per month. And then that gives you just a giant total of all of them. So, yes. So then it's like, oh my gosh, look at all these expenses. Like, how are we paying for all of them? So that's where then your monthly revenue breakout, that breaks down. I pulled over the total expenses, and then we have our meal donations, and those are from the individuals who come and utilize this service and their donations. Then I subtracted that out so you could see the outstanding expense that is still held by the county. Then we do have grants that we do apply to both the congregate and the home delivered. They're all totaled up in there. And then the amount of tax levy that then was used. You'll see tax levy was used every month. There is a match that the county has to do for these different grants and funding sources. So there is that match that's in throughout there. We did run out of our grant money this year in August, which I believe last year was June, so that was good. But then you'll also see now in October, there's another lump sum. We did put in to get additional funding if there was a county that didn't use all of theirs. The GWAR, they're really easy to work with and really awesome, where if we're going through things, they'll reach out and see if we can, like, if another county wants to re-obligate it to us. So that's where you'll see that amount come in. Again, if you kind of look to try to figure out what our match is by doing the grants versus the tax levy, this when you look at our general ledger, the months are kind of, some of our expenses land in a different month, but they're really for that month. So that's why this is going to look a little goofy there. But in summary, that is where we've been at so far. That was because we were ahead of our tax levy for the match that was required. So it was basically like, oh, nope, we're ahead. So we're going to put a little bit more towards and take it back out of there. I know I threw a lot of information at you, but let me know if you have any questions, or you can also reach out to Chris and I too, if after looking at it even further.
So Price County taxpayers are paying that $66,975 to keep supporting this program.
Yes.
Does everyone know that they should be giving a donation towards this meal? Everyone that goes into the meal sites, do they realize that they should be giving a donation?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had heard, and this is hearsay, I had heard that one group, one site had told the people that the meal was free. The meal is not free unless that site is wanting to pay for each meal. And if the cost of the meal keeps going up, which is understandable, that's an understandable thing, that's why we get the grants. But they should know that they should be giving a donation of at least $5 if they can to the meal. And then there's other things, there's other supplies and stuff that people individually pay for that never get reimbursed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think too, that's also why we did break it out, because I think, overall people are like, oh, $5 per meal. Like, yes, that's how much the food costs, but there is that extra expense, obviously, that you see in through here. So we do encourage it. And I don't feel like 66,000 for our tax levy. I mean, that really quite isn't a lot for the service that is provided, and we are required to match it too. So regardless, we were going to be putting that in there, but it is to help people, and people are encouraged to donate what they are able to.
So now, is it gonna increase at the site starting January 1st?
The suggested contribution, no.
So it'll stay at full,
$5.50.
okay. So that number next year will be a
Even
little,
higher.
will
It'll
be higher,
It'll be even higher.
So the committee decided to do that, and I understand why, the way things are today. It's tough at the grocery store for people.
I understand that too. I don't have anything against it. I
No.
totally understand.
Yeah.
Especially knowing Price County. Price County is known as having one of the, we are a county where the average income is less than $48,000 a year. You try to live on less than $48,000 a year with buying gas and groceries and everything and all the medical expenses. You can't do it. I mean, it's almost impossible without other assistance from other places coming in. So I totally get that, but I also want to make sure that everybody understands the meals are not free. They should not be telling people that they're free, and whoever is doing that should be realizing that then they need to step up to the plate and be donating more money from their site for what's happening.
So just to kind of go off of that, do you think, and just a question, do you think this is information that may be posted at those sites to have people understand what goes into the program that they're using? Or is that too much information for them,
I
do you
think
think?
it's too much.
Too much?
My
Okay.
Diners will understand.
You know, I do put out,
Well, I mean, the diners may not understand it, but then we can educate the diners to what it is. I guess the point I'm making is I'm a big data's person. I like to see the numbers. And if you're making a point like you're saying is that they're not understanding that it's not free, if they don't have the information to show them that, how are they to know that, I guess, other than the sites actually telling them that?
right,
And this could be a way to, and like I said, if it's too much information, great. Just how do we get to that point that she brought up?
I don't think that the elderly people that are going there are the problem. I think it's the person at the site who is the problem. I think it's the person at the site that is the problem.
I
I'm saying that-
Apologize, I will interrupt for a second. I would like to remind everybody to use their microphones because it's not being picked up online and
Yeah.
some members are
Yeah,
missing
she
part of the
can.
conversation.
I don't think it's, I don't think it's. the-
Push your button.
Green light on.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Thank you. I don't think it's the people themselves, the elderly people themselves. I think it's the site itself. It's the person who's running the site who's saying the meals are free. And if that person at that site is saying that, he needs, or she, whoever it is at the time, needs to be informed it's not free. And if they think it's free, they need to be stepping up to the plate and putting money into it. Because we cannot keep running at a deficit like this, or we're going to be in big trouble and need more grants than what we have already. Sorry, that's just what's going to happen. It's just going to continue to mount up. So,
Well, at our site up in Park Falls, I usually do this. And I think.
I know
we-
you do.
I think we
I know.
have one person here from every site, if I'm not mistaken, on these committees. So you could take this to your site with you, and after they're done eating, just briefly explain, the bottom dollar is that we're running 66,000 in the rears, which you're going to, I think, all the time regardless. But we need to always remember to donate into the box what we can afford. And I
Yeah.
know there's some, I know where you're coming from with this other thing. I've got a few of them up in Park Falls. They think the government owes them something. You're always going to have that. You're never going to get rid of that. I know it's a sore subject, but it's there. It's
Yeah,
in
but we're the
anything.
government.
Yeah.
We're the government.
Yeah, I know it. And
So.
it's
Is
good.
is it possible to do, often for fundraisers, they'll have a thermometer or something, and you do a quarterly, do you? Is it possible to put on there where Brentwood is on that quarter, where Cannon is at that quarter, if they're above? Donate, is that going to be a burden on you? I mean, I'm not trying to add tasks to you, not at all. Just to maybe let the people who are eating there just know where they're at. Because there are some, I know at the site that I go, there are some people there who are able to put in a little bit more. But that might be a visual.
Chris, you probably, I think you do that with the other committee, quarterly, when they meet. I remember, I think you did that. You could just do that and shoot that to the committee members, email it. You don't need to make paper copies or anything. Just
Yeah.
give us a quarterly of the sites.
Sure.
Keep it simple so
Mhm.
people understand it.
And on all the boxes at the sites, the contribution boxes, it has, $5 suggested donation, and it lists on there if people under age 60 are dining, what they have to pay. That's not a suggestion, it's what they need to pay. And then it always says, no individual will be denied a meal without the ability to pay or whatever, But yeah. So I'm not sure which site might have been telling that you heard, but
I believe it's the, it's, I want to be very, very careful here. It's in Phillips.
okay.
It's in Phillips. And I will get a hold of him myself. I will talk to him myself and make it very, very clear so that he understands. I will go directly to him and talk to him. Or if he's not there, somebody else has taken over, but I think he's still there.
Well, then you could take this information, and sit
Yeah,
down
I
with the
will.
individual, he or she, which would probably be really good, be an eye opener.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think, I think it's better for that person to know than the individual adults that are coming because it's too much information for them, the older people. It's too much for them.
Because the site manager we have in Phillips is a lady.
No, not at this one.
Paula?
No.
No, no.
It's not a site manager. It's where the food is being delivered to.
Okay. At a particular site.
Yes, it's where the food is being delivered to.
Okay.
I
Okay,
did have
Paula?
Okay.
Yep.
And I can't say this enough, and I will continue to say this probably until I'm never around here again or whatever. But I just want everyone to know, and all of us are very, very important, and we need to remind the participants that enjoy the meals, that while it's really helpful to find out things that they're not pleased with about the meals, on the other hand, we really need to watch how we state those comments, because I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, we are very, very fortunate to have Phillips Cafe doing this at a really rock bottom price. And they do an awesome job. And you're serving all these different sites and everybody's different palates and everything else. So, when people do complain to you that this is this or that, just say, well, we'll take that into consideration. But just remember, if we don't make them happy, we're going to be really in trouble trying to find someone or some business to help us out like they do.
Totally agree with that.
And also too, something to keep in mind, if the number of meals that increase, some of these costs are solid. They don't fluctuate by the number of meals, like the delivery. Okay, that is a set rate. So if there's more meals, then that figure will go down. And there's a couple of other ones too, where the amount of time, like, or like the rent and things like that, that's going to stay there. Also, something that's not captured on here too is our in-kind and volunteer that figure. That's something where people donate their time, or some of the sites donate their rent or their space. And the amount, that dollar right now, I think is sitting at about like $37,000. So there's are people too that are also helping cover those too.
So the person that's helping at the site with the one that's employed, that person doesn't get nothing at all, not a free meal, no free meal and nothing. Okay. Is there anything else or question?
For the numbers, Gary.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, yes. It's black and white, and everybody should be able to understand this, especially the sheet here with the cost flow, I think is very good for the people. So,
Well, thank you.
all right, thank you very much for your report. And if there is nothing else, we will move on to the number 4, senior services update.
All right. So the Strong Bodies class in Brentwood is going well. 2 instructors were trained and they take turns, from what I understand, teaching the class. There's been a lot of calls coming in about participants wanting to join other classes as well. Cheyenne's taking a lot of calls. The Try It session is running right now for Strong Bodies. That goes from December 2nd through the 20th. There's no suggested contribution for that, from what I understand. It's just if runs for free if people want to come in and try it and see if they like it. We are going to offer in January. It's called Eat Smart. I always want to say way more. It's Eat Smart, Move More, Way Less. It's a health promotion class. So with funding from our health promotion funds, we've purchased 8 slots so that the class is paid for 8 people that are interested. She's just started to promote it now. There is a class that will start in January. It's all virtual. There is an advertisement in the packet that I sent out to you, or handed out. Yeah, get healthy with Eat Smart, Move More, Way Less online. So we're hoping to get some participants in that. If people don't sign up for January classes, they're offered quarterly online. So if we don't get any, we'll advertise again for the next quarter. Let's see. Aging Advocacy Day. I just gave you a handout to remind you of when that is. May 13th, 2025 in Madison. So we'll see if anybody will be attending.
Did anybody attend that last year?
No.
I think we need to put our heads together, and I think that's something we should be going down to, especially with some representation from Price County. I mean, we just heard that our wages, what they are up here and everything, to go down and advocate for more for our county.
It'd be a day thing, and then we could take a bus from here. Could we get one of the county vehicles?
Probably a county vehicle,
Yeah.
sure. Mm-hmm.
And it's just.
I don't know what time it starts and what time it's done. I suppose you could do it in a day as long as there's a couple of drivers to share the cost, share the help driving, because it's Madison, that's 4 hours right to the Capitol.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We could touch on it again when it
Yeah,
gets
get closer. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. I don't think I have any more for senior services updates.
Hey, does anybody have any questions? Any comments on it at all? Okay, if none, we'll move on to number 5, elderly benefits specialist update.
Just not too many updates. She saw 31 new clients during open enrollment, which ended now December 7th. So it was running October 15th through December 7th. So she was pretty busy, getting people into new plans, etc.
Okay. Any questions at all that you want to bring up that you probably could get answered later? Okay, if not, we'll move on to number 6, transportation update. And that is in this packet that they just handed out.
Yep, so I enclosed some BART figures, current BART figures, for their ridership numbers, for 2024. I did the Phillips, Park Falls, and Minocqua routes. Just so you can see where they're at there.
I had a gentleman on the south end of Butternut Lake that's on dialysis, and he has been driving over there, and you're not supposed to drive back right away. And he had an episode, and my wife and me got him and his wife hooked up to ride the BART bus. And I'll tell you what, he's called me I don't know how many times and commented about how wonderful that is. Picked him right up at the door because it's within the 5 miles. Took him over there. He got done with his dialysis. The bus was sitting there and the trip back. And he's a happy camper. So he's spreading the word around about it. So
Yeah.
Good.
That's really good because they
yeah,
shouldn't have.
that's what it takes to
Mm.
get a happy person and get them moving. So
Any questions on the BART bus? Otherwise, I do have a new driver, for our elderly disabled transportation program. So right now we have 7 drivers. And so according to our, transportation program, right now we have, when drivers go to medical appointments, we pay them an hourly wage after they've been waiting 3 hours or more. So otherwise they get mileage throughout, but then an hourly wage starts after that 3-hour wait time. So we are going to move that 3-hour wait time to 2-hour wait time. So then they'll be able to be paid an hourly wage starting after 2 hours. And that wage will be, currently it's $7.50, so we're going to increase it to $8 an hour
and that's after 2 hours.
after 2 hours of wait time. So if they have like a 4-hour medical appointment and the driver sits there before they would finally start to get paid after 3 hours, now they'll get paid after 2.
And then they just get mileage when the bus is going from house to house. Or do they get us wage? Do they get an hourly wage too? I think they do, don't they?
Are you talking the BART bus?
The BART bus, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
These
they-
are our volunteer drivers.
Oh, these are the
for
okay.
Our program.
Okay.
Our elderly program. Yeah. So we'll start that in January. We just want to try to keep our drivers, and these things have never been changed for as long as I know. So also we do shopping for participants. So we're going to increase the shopping charge. Right now it's $4 from wherever they live. Let's say Kennan, Lugerville, we're going to charge a $5 fee starting in January. So that shopping is like shopping and errand service. They might, need to stop 8 places in that one trip, and then they're charged that flat fee of $5.
So they don't have to get, when they get off of the transportation and get back on, they don't have to pay again.
Not for our elderly drivers, elderly transportation program.
Those are volunteers.
Correct. 7 of them. Any questions on that?
It's a very nice program, by the way.
I did, put our shopping information that it's in here too. I think I put it possibly, but it was in our newsletter as well, getting the word out for like the shopping and errand service and then what the Prentice grocery store does for delivery.
Yeah.
Yep, so I made a little chart and
Yeah.
advertised that, so.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that's going to go over big with the Prentice grocery store is doing at this point.
Yeah, that's
I think
nice.
that's going to go over very big. When I went to them and told them that I wanted them to consider doing that,
Mhm,
she said, let me get back to you. Let me talk to the owners and let me get back to you.
mhm.
And I said, this is going to be a thing that's going to bring money into your store rather than you. I mean, on those days, they're not busy. Monday and Wednesday, they're not that busy.
Sure.
And these people, you see them, they're walking from these homes that they're living in and trying to walk on ice with their carts and pull them and stuff, and they just can't do it. So,
Yep. Good. I do have some nutrition program updates that probably should have been up in the nutrition area. But that was under the financial report, so just let me know when I can give those.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, that page with the round circles. Is that what you want to go
Yep,
through?
those, and I have a few more. So, yeah, so I first just included the total meals in September and October. That's the colorful chart. 1,815 in October compared to September, 1,613. And then I did an average meals per site in October, so. Park Falls is still the booming site.
I just can't believe that Phillips just hangs there. It seems like it's grown some since they moved to their new location, but
Yeah, still there's days where there's nobody dining in,
Oh.
you know. Yep. And I just want to report, we did hire a new site manager for Ogama. We had the Phil Youngs, he had retired. When did he do that? When did
Middle
he-
of September.
So,
After, yeah, he fell on August 31st. He hasn't
Okay.
been back since.
so yeah, and then Diane Gearman has been subbing since then, working at the site. And then now we just hired a new site manager who will be down there all alone today. Hers her first day solo, so I'm sure it'll go just fine. And that is Kay Erickson, so. Also, we had a driver, a meal driver that we was on our she was one of the employed drivers that we have. She also retired probably about the same time Phil did, maybe a little earlier. Then we had 2 sub drivers filling in. They would take 1 week at a time filling in. So now we've hired a new person that'll start tomorrow delivering meals. So, and her name is Patricia Comer, Comer.
and where is she going to be delivering meals?
Ogama, so she'll
Ogama.
deliver Ogama Prentice route. And then we'll still have our 2 older gentlemen as sites, as the subs for the deliveries. Again, just to reiterate, the Nutrition Advisory Council advised to keep the suggested contribution the same for 2025, which is $5 for congregate, $5.50 for home delivered. And we always are looking for volunteers to deliver meals in Phillips on Tuesdays out of town route and Fridays for the full route, if you have any friends or family that want to volunteer.
I appreciate this chart. I want you to know that, that you've done. I really appreciate that.
Also, we are having Cheyenne through the outreach is doing Christmas bingo. There's an advertisement in the packet. That is this Wednesday at the Phillips site. And then, Thursday, she'll be up in Park Falls doing Christmas bingo with prizes, so. And before I forget, because I did already, I want to introduce Dawn Breezel. She's the Aging and Disability Unit Supervisor. She had been hired, I don't know when.
I started November 11th.
Okay. So, do you want to say a couple words?
Sure. I guess, hello, I'm happy to be here. I wanted to come today just to kind of see what this meeting is all about and what happens here. I'm trying to learn as much as I can and get to know all the different aspects of my unit, the Adult Protective Services and the ADRC, but also some of the senior services so that I have a well-rounded base of knowledge. So thank you for having me here.
Well, welcome and thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I don't have anything else.
I just want to add, I really appreciate the meetings that we had that were at the different nutrition sites. It was enlightening.
Good. Yeah. And I think we had been going and then
The reason for this one being here, I think, is we look at the weather right now and the traveling, and plus we wanted these figures from the department. So we'll probably do this every year, have this meeting in December here for sure. This will probably be the spot all the time. That way, if you need any other figures, she's here to plug it in.
Good.
Is there anything else any other questions for anybody? Now's the time. Nothing else?
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Okay.
I did send out the MOUs to the nutrition sites for 2025, and we do have one increase, which is Ogama site, for what they charge us per month, per day.
Yeah.
So we were paying 11, I believe, per day,
Yeah.
and it goes to 20 now per day. Otherwise, there was no change for the other sites and locations.
They all stay, the
Mhm.
other sites are all the same or no increase? Okay. Well, that's good. So,
All right.
all right, nothing else at all? I'll just update you up in Park Falls. We've had some problems up there. People got a lot of food left over. And for some reason, they seem to think that we should be supplying them with these containers that you can get. And if you look at what the cost of them containers are, that drives your cost up considerably at the meal site. So we had to come down hard on it. Chris, I told her, we got to stop it. You got to try to save some money here some way. And we did. And now they're starting to bring in. If they don't, I told them you put it in your pocket. I mean, it's just the way life is. I'm a tough guy, you know. So I just wanted to update you. I don't know if you have that problem at other sites, but remember, we're trying to keep the cost down. Tell them to bring their containers. That's very important. So, okay, if there's nothing else, we'll move on to number 7. Next meeting is March 10th, 2025. Where should we head? Should we head to the south and work our way to the north, or head to the north and work our way to the south? What's your wishes? Let's
When's
pick
the
a
last
spot.
time?
Let's go
Falls.
south. Let's go way down to, what is it, Brantwood to the east?
Yeah, let's do Brentwood.
Yeah, let's go Brantwood to the east, and then we can go to the middle, and then go to the west, and come. Okay, we'll do Brantwood.
So Brentwood and then Ogama, and then Cannon, Phillips and Park Falls.
Yeah,
That would be the order.
yeah, yeah. That'll work. That'll work good that way. Do it that way. So, and before we adjourn, Jean, I heard, had some surgery, so she's not here. And this would be her last meeting. So if you get a chance, just pop on the internet and wish her well for her retirement. She's done a lot for the county. So just send her well wishes to thank her for everything. Okay, number 8, adjourn. Need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
A
I'll s-
second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Okay, thank you all for coming.
See you guys.
Yeah.